From a penalty kick that went to orbit, to a goalie saving one without gloves. These are the 25 funniest penalty kicks in football history. And at number 1, Virgil van Dijk iced out this goalie in a cup final. The Carabao Cup final between Liverpool and Chelsea in 2022 was tight. See, both teams were playing to win, but the defences were on top too, and at the end of the extra time, the game was still deadlocked at 0-0, and went into penalties. Both teams scored each one of their spot kicks until it got to Van Dijk's turn, and Kep decided to play mind games with him. He went all the way to the left, stood there and dared Van Dijk to place his kick in that corner. Van Dijk's response? He made him look stupid in front of national TV. I don't know which one was colder, the pen top bins or the stare Van Dijk gave him right after. Either way, I'm pretty sure Kepa won't be trying this with Van Dijk again. Just like he also won't be attempting to take any penalties anytime soon. Still, in the same game, after Van Dijk had scored, it went round to the goalies too, meaning the fate of both teams was now in Kepa and Liverpool's Caoimhin Kelleher's hands. Sorry, scratch that, their feet. Kelleher went up and scored, meaning Kepa at the very least had to replicate what he'd just done, so he placed the ball down, took a deep breath and did this. Sent that one to Pluto. Kepa had the worst cameo ever. He came on as a penalty sub to catch pens, but in return he failed to keep out any one of the 11 Liverpool scored, and even sent his penalty over the bar. Ouch. See, this one sky over like this kind of reminds me of an English hero who sent a penalty into NASA territory in 2022. The World Cup quarter-finals, England versus France. And the match was tense. Aurélien Tchouameni gave France the lead early on, but after England equalised through Harry Kane from the spot, France upped the tempo, and towards the end of the match, Olivier Giroud put them in front. With 7 minutes left to play, England found a way into the game. They'd won another penalty in the French half, and having scored one in the first half, Harry Kane was the guy to take it. At that point, I'd bet my house on Kane to small this one home and draw England back level. And it's a good thing I didn't, because if I did, I'd have been homeless. Dude thought he was playing NFL and sent this one way over. I'd bet the guys at NASA would have been wondering what a football was doing in outer space from Asia. Kinda reminds me of the time Sergio Ramos took a penalty so high, it gave him a haircut the next season. Ramos was part of the 2012 Madrid team that had done almost everything. I mean, seriously, it's like these dudes leveled up that season. The stuff they put out looked like power-up levels. Ramos looked like a gladiator from Mortal Kombat Madrid had brought out for the big occasion. He was selected as one of the 5 players to take the spot kicks in the shootout against Bayern. The thing is, the first dude to take one, Ronaldo, well, he missed. Then Kaká went up again and he missed too. At that point, it simply meant that Madrid had to score or else they'd be out. And that's when Ramos stepped up to the spot, placed the ball down, and just when it looked like he'd send this one top bins, give Madrid hope, he hit another target instead. Damn, that miss affected Ramos so bad, he rocked up with a new haircut at the start of the next season. Speaking of sky high, I don't think I've seen one as bad as Jason Puncheon trying to use his pen to start a building project. So here's the deal, in 2016 Spurs had announced plans to rebuild the White Hart Lane Stadium and remodel it into one of the biggest in the world. The building plans were all set to begin a couple of weeks after the season ended, but before that they still had to complete the games they had that season, and one of them was against Crystal Palace. Minutes into the game and Palace got a pen. Jason Puncheon stepped up to take it, but instead of hitting at the goal, my guy was trying to help start the building project. Took out the first bars in the roof. I see what you did there, Jason, nice work. Same vibes with my bros out in Kenya. In 2016, Everton was on tour in Africa, and as part of the deal, they came to Kenya to face Kariobangi Sharks. And the match went into a penalty shootout, and that's where things got pretty interesting. Now, the Everton players must have been expecting a regular penalty shootout, where they all step up to take spot kicks and end it right there. But the dudes from Kariobangi Sharks, nah, they don't work like that, and for them, it was all about putting on a show in front of the home crowd. And once the ball was on the spot, with everyone watching, they produced some of the funniest free kicks you'll ever see. Can't lie, this is funny. If you're gonna win a preseason trophy, this has gotta be the standard. Even the Everton guys loved it. They didn't have a choice. Awesome stuff. I'd bet Mario Balotelli wishes he was on the Kariobangi team for this one. He just loves taking on goalies in comical ways. Just ask Roman Weidenfeller. Balotelli was repping Manchester City when they faced Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. And Weidenfeller's one crazy guy, he'd do anything to put the opposition off. City won a pen moments into the game and they chose the ice-cold Mario Balotelli to take it. Why? The guy never misses. Weidenfeller knew this too, and just before Balotelli took the ball to the spot, spot. He came up to him and I'm pretty sure he told Balotelli something like he thought his haircut made him look weird. And Balotelli was mad. So he went up and wanted to show Weidenfeller who's boss. Didn't just score, he walked up to Weidenfeller and told him his haircut made him look like a Jeremy Butler from Wish. Yikes. Balotelli's got ice in his veins, but he's got nothing on the next dude on the list. And this guy's so funny, he made Weidenfeller look like a clown with the craziest skill move I've ever seen. 2020, Kramaric was playing for Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga when they faced Borussia Dortmund. Now Kramaric is one funny guy. He appeared on a club show once just to rate cows. In this match versus Dortmund, he was on smoke. He'd already bagged a hat-trick in the match, but he still wasn't done. Minutes before the end, Hoffenheim got a penalty, and it was Kramaric's chance to make it 4. As soon as he placed the ball down, I was expecting him to completely smash this one and make it a 4th. But instead, Kramaric had something crazy planned. Now I could tell you, or I could just show you, but try not to look too hard. Scored a no-look penalty. The ball's on this guy. Kramaric made the Dortmund goalie look like a joke. Funny because the next guy's on the list hit a tag team on pens that got everyone talking. In 2015, the MSN was the most powerful attacking trio in the world. In the league match versus Celta Vigo, Messi and Suarez had been working on something special in training, fixing a penalty glitch. Now, they'd both found loopholes in the rules when taking pens and had been waiting for their chance to execute it. So when the ref blew for a pen to Barca in the game, it was the perfect opportunity. Messi placed the ball on the spot and Suarez was waiting for his cue. And as soon as the ref hit the whistle for him to take it, they went full on. That was so cheeky, even the opposition players laughed and clapped. Hey, hold on a sec. Oh yeah, I've seen this one before. The original dudes who tried this produced one of the most comic horror shows in penalty history. Arsenal's golden generation of the mid-2000s and Thierry Henry and Robert Pires were both star players on the team. Just like Messi and Suarez, they both looked up the glitch in the penalty thing, and so when they came up against Man City at home in what was a comfortable match, they figured that was the perfect time to try it. Well, the problem was, Henry and Pires didn't quite work out the details of who was going to take it, and when the communication was off, and when it came to execution time, it turned into an epic fail. I'd bet Henry never wants to see this one again. Dude, that was awful. Still though, they both saw the funny side of it and laughed in the post-match press conferences. I'm pretty sure there's one guy who didn't find it funny though, the manager. Looking at it, I kinda guess as fans we kinda take it for granted how hard it is to smash home a pen. The guys playing them don't though. I mean, just look at Ciro Immobile. The guy hit a pretty hard celebration I can't get off my mind after smashing home from 6 yards. When it comes to taking penalties, Immobile's usually the coldest dude on the pitch. For Lazio, he's a dead ball specialist too. But you see guys, it goes way harder than that. Immobile's been putting in the hard yards in training to get his penalty level specialty. Plus he's a striker. It's his job to score goals. Doesn't always mean it's that easy. Safe to say when he scores, it's like he's got weight off his shoulders, you know? Like he's been trying to take that weight off all game. The pressure of bagging for a club like Lazio. Bro, how tight your shirt? Even my brother can get off that faster, and the boy's 3. Can't blame Immobile though. He can come up with any celebration he wants. I mean, at least he scored his pen. Can't say the same about Sergio Aguero. In 2021, Aguero was on his farewell tour for Man City. He'd announced that this was going to be his last season at the club after spending 10 years there. And given the incredible moments he'd created over the years, Aguero had become so good that he was now City's #1 penalty taker. Chelsea came to City's Etihad Stadium with just a couple of games left. And even though they'd already won the league, for Aguero, this match meant more. He was chasing a City record and trying to become the club's all-time top scorer. A few weeks back, he'd already become the first City player to get tons of people to subscribe to Mr. Football by telling them all they needed to do was click that subscribe button down below. And back to this game, he got a chance to equal the record when City got a pen, and he was on. And it's Aguero, man, it should have been a guaranteed goal. But the thing is, Aguero wanted to make it special. So when he placed the ball down, he had one thing on his mind. The only problem was Chelsea's goalie, Edouard Mendy, read it. Aguero missed. Definitely sure he won't want to watch this one over again. Just like Pogba won't want to watch when his penalty technique had an epic fail and went horribly wrong. At the start of the 2018-19 season, Pogba was coming up with new stuff no one had seen before. No, not the haircut, something else, his penalties. At the time, Pogba was Manchester United's official penalty taker, and coach Jose Mourinho had even made him captain when they faced Young Boys in the Champions League. United won a penalty penalty in the match, and it was Pogba's duty to step up and take it. But you see guys, Pogba's new technique had him doing this slow run up to the ball before hitting it. But this time it went wrong. After that, I never saw Pogba take another pen for United again. The pressure of taking a pen is crazy, especially when it comes to playing for the national team. Some dudes seem to choke on it, like Simone Zaza. You might not remember him now, but in 2016, everyone had a Simone Zaza card on Ultimate Team. He was the guy. Zaza made the cut to the Italian national team for the Euros, and after making it out of the group, they faced Germany in the quarter-finals, and the game went to a penalty shootout. Germany hit their spot kicks clean, meaning Zaza had to score and keep Italy in it. But, come on bro, the dude hit a Pogba before it even existed, and blazed over. That 7-second mini shuffle was a complete joke. Maybe Zaza wasn't trying to hit the Pogba though. Looking at it again, he doesn't even come close to the guy who choked on his pen in the biggest game of his life. Picture this, it's the 1994 World Cup final. Italy's star man Roberto Baggio been balling all tournament long, scored 5 goals and dropped 1 assist to help them get to the final, and he's an OG when it comes to taking pens. So when the game went to a penalty shootout and it got to his turn, some of the Italians had already started wondering who'd go next, because in their minds, Baggio never misses. Now it's crazy how this works, because Baggio did his run and hit the ball and boom! Must have hit a flying bird somewhere, missed his kick and won the World Cup for Brazil. Secret agent, I see what you did there, Baggio, respect. Did it for another country and messed up with his own. But now guys, it's into the top 10, and I guess part of what makes penalties so special is when the goalies add the spice to the drama. Like Hamid from DC. Hamid was playing for DC United in the MLS when they played Houston Dynamo. With his team 1-0 up, Dynamo got a pen, but Hamid wasn't going to let his team down. He wanted to save the pen at all costs, but in trying to do so, he did this. Come on bro, it was obvious. I don't know which one is funnier, Hamid moving away off his line to save the one or denying it right after. Either way, the pen got taken again and Dynamo scored. Ouch. Maybe next time Hamid should stick to staying on the line. Think this is funny? You should have seen the time Kylian Mbappe was getting laughed at after missing 2 penalties. Mbappe was playing for PSG in the league when they faced Montpellier away from home. And it wasn't just Mbappe leading the attack for his club. The MSN trio was in action too, Messi and Neymar. Still, when the club got a pen midway into the match, they let Mbappe take it. And it should have been a guaranteed goal. But Benjamin Lecomte wasn't going to let Kylian get in that easy. Saved the first one. Look at Neymar and Messi laughing at Mbappe. Ouch. The crazy thing is, the ref spotted Lecomte coming off his line, and because of that he demanded that the pen get replayed. Another chance for Mbappe to retake it and smash it into the net, right? He missed again! At this point, both Messi and Neymar couldn't hold it in, and neither could I. It looked too funny. I bet Mbappe would have hated going against this next goalie. Making penalty saves so funny, he didn't even need gloves. Here's the deal. Ricardo was Portugal's starting goalie in the 2004 Euros, and in the quarter-finals they faced England in a match that went all the way to penalties. It was so tight that every penalty taker apart from one each had scored for both teams. And after the first round of the shootout, the score was 5-5. At this point, Portugal's goalie Ricardo knew he had to switch up if he wanted to give his team the lead. So he went old school and hit the Sunday League goalie move. Took off his gloves, saved the pen from Darius Vassell, morphed up and turned into Mui from Shaolin Soccer. Darius's save eventually helped Portugal win the match and progress to the semis. Now remember when I said almost every player apart from one each scored for both teams? Well, the guy who missed for England mixed up the wrong sport and got trolled right after. Still in the same shootout, David Beckham was chosen as one of the takers for England. Now the guy's very good from set pieces. He almost never misses. So when it came to his turn to take the kick, it should have been a guaranteed goal. The problem is Beckham probably got the sports wrong for a split second. He most likely thought he was Tom Brady taking a free kick foul from 6 yards out, and as a result hit the wrong posts. Hit an NFL-style free kick into Rose End. Actually though, maybe I didn't see it like Beckham. In his mind, he saw invisible posts the public didn't see, and that's why he hit it that high. Bend it like Bex. Beckham's miss eventually cost England. They got knocked out of the tournament as a result. But you can't hate on the guy, I mean it's David Beckham. He looks like a god. But now guys, it's into the top 5, and at number 5, this next dude tried a spin-off of a popular penalty trick and got it wrong. When it comes to penalties, Bruno Fernandes is a specialist. Truth is though, his technique isn't original. A huge part of the reason Fernandes always almost scores is because of the trick he uses. Well, he copied it from the OG himself, Jorginho's hop and skip penalty trick. Fernandes started using it to good effect until the match against Jorginho's former team Chelsea. Fernandes probably thought it was going to be business as usual. All he had to do was pick his spot, hit the trick, made the goalie fall for it, and score. But the thing about this one is when it comes off, it's usually cheeky and cool, but when it doesn't, well, it looks like this. Denied, bro, get that trick off the road. Ever since then, Fernandes doesn't use this anymore. He just smashes them in. Trick gone. Well, at least he didn't miss a game with a trophy on the line, like this next dude. Plot twist, he's a goalie. In the 2017 Community Shield, Chelsea and Arsenal clashed in a game that went into penalties. And that's where the drama was at. Now, when it comes to shootouts, the teams usually pick their best players to take it. And somehow Chelsea agreed to let their goalie, Thibaut Courtois, take it in the shootout. I don't know if he usually smashes them in training or something to convince them to let him take it, but one thing I do know is that he won't be taking penalties again. Dude shot his pen like it was a goal kick. Thibaut, bro, in penalties the aim is to score in the post, not hit a fan in the stands. I'd bet if Courtois took the shot on Tupac, my man would still be alive. I can make an excuse for Courtois being a goalie and missing horribly like that, but for Harry Kewell, that was just straight up ugly. In his playing career, Kewell was one of the ultimate streets would never forget players. From Australia, he made his mark in the Premier League with teams like Leeds United. Kewell decided to return home and link up with his local team, Sydney FC. And being one of the senior players in the team when they got a penalty against Melbourne in the AA League, Kewell stepped up to take it. Senior player should back the pen easy, right? Nah, hold up, I've got to watch this one again. What was that? I've got no words. It's easily the worst penalty I've ever seen. Not even my Sunday League buddies are this bad at spot kicks, and they're ass on a regular day. It's still not crazy enough as the time Alexander Mitrovic and Abubakar Kamara produced the most comical PK incident in Premier League history. Mitrovic and Kamara were both playing for Fulham when they faced Huddersfield Town in the league. And this one was more important to Fulham because both teams were fighting to avoid relegation. The score was still goalless heading into the final minutes of the game, when out of nowhere Fulham got a pen. Mitrovic was the club's top scorer at the time. He'd already bagged a couple of penalties in the season as well. So when they got this one, he naturally should have taken it. But Kamara said no. The coach was pissed, even Mitrovic too. But in the end, they both let Kamara take the pen. I mean, so long as he was gonna score, they'd be alright. Well, that didn't happen too. Ouch. Imagine being Kamara in the locker room after this one. The coach would have eaten into him. Lucky for Fulham, they managed to win the game 1-0. But see guys, this one only comes in second place, and now at number 1, it's the funniest penalty shootout in the game's history. In the Japanese Super Cup, Andreas Iniesta's Vissel Kobe team was facing Yokohama in the final, and the game went to penalties. Yokohama took the first kick and scored. Then Iniesta went up next to level for his side, but after that, the madness happened. Get this, they legit missed 9 penalties in a row. What the heck? In the end, Hotaru Yamagachi scored his kick to give Vissel Kobe the win, but 9 missed penalties. Can't escape that. Probably set a Guinness World Record or something, and should have banned everyone who missed. Speaking of bans, I'd bet you didn't know that in the game there's some banned stuff that's caused a lot of controversy. From headphones to toilet paper. There's an entire list of the banned stuff in football you've got to see to check it out. Just click the next video.